when I took off and made the dunk, it was just like, yo, this is tight.
So I wanted to run through a handful of like notable moments from your career and get you to kind of recall the moment, what comes to mind.
Okay.
The first one being your final high school basketball game.
Man, that was like 16 years ago. Dang, that it was emotional, very emotional. Because I knew at that point I wasn't gonna be a kid no more. And I was like, man, I enjoyed this. Like, you can ask any one of my teammates, in high school. I never talked about going to the NBA. I never even tried to talk about basketball with my teammates. We tried to just enjoy being in high school. And the last game, I remember after the buzzer, coach crying, and it made me cry. And I was like, man, this feels so good, man. I wish everyone can, feel this, like the state that we were in, like all of us were just full of emotions because we had tried for 3 years and we never succeeded. And the year before we won it, we lost in the championship. And our coach made me and one of my teammates sit and watch the other team celebrate. It was the worst thing in the world. I'm like, why would he torture us like this? And what it did was just give us motivation.
Even you get a little emotional almost now.
Yeah, thinking about it. Because like I was a kid, and I'm like, man, I really want to win. And I just remember like just sacrificing whatever I had to sacrifice to win, so it felt pretty good.
The NBA draft and your name being called as the first overall pick by Commissioner David Stern.
Yes.
Describe that moment.
Oh man.
Your dad almost busted the table too.
My dad went crazy. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, man, I want to go number one. This is my dream. I had wrote it down as one of my goals, and I placed it on top of my bed. And I just looked at it every day, like I want to be the number one pick. I'm going to be the number one pick. And I was so nervous on draft night. I was like, man, what if they don't pick me, man? I'm going to feel bad. And right before David Stern came out, I think his name was Melvin Eli. He said, you going number one, bro. And I was like, nah, you lying. He was like, I promise you, man, just go be great. And I was like, dang, all right. And then my agent said, when they call your name, give your mom a kiss and give your dad a hug and go shake David Stern's hand. So they call my name and my dad jumps up and he just pounds the table, boom! Looking at him like, man, this man crazy. And my mom was like, oh my God. I thought she was about to faint. And I was like, yo, this is an awesome experience. And get up on stage and I shake David Stern's hand. I'm like, well, here's the journey. It's about to start right now. It was an unbelievable feeling.
Your dad says his favorite moment from your career is your first game, but not even the game, just watching you run through the tunnel.
Oh, wow.
What do you remember from that?
It was different from high school. I was so used to guys getting what we call crunk, like happy, excited, or like amped up to play. Like in high school, we had a clap, we'll push each other around. And I'm getting with these old men, or older guys, and they're just like, yeah, you ready to hoop? I'm like, y'all ain't gonna clap, y'all ain't gonna like bump chests or do anything. It was just like, it was a whole different atmosphere. And I didn't know how to adjust to it, because for my whole high school career, we literally, before the game started, we was already tired. Because we was jumping around, was clapping, was rapping to each other. Like the first quarter sometimes was really bad for us. But it was way different. Guys were just, like in their zone. And
this is before even one and done, so you went literally high school to NBA.
And I hated to lose, so I would cry after all the games that we lost. And they'd be like, yo, we got another game in 2 days, bro, don't cry no more. So it was like,
like in front of your teammates?
I would be crying because I was like, man, we lost. Like I'd be so pissed because I didn't want to lose. And they said, young fella, it's okay. We got another game in 2 days. So I had to learn that too.
The Superman NBA All-Star dunk contest?
Ah, man, that was like one of the craziest moments of my life. Starting from being in Orlando, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for the dunk contest, because I practiced dunks, and I was like, man, I don't know.
Do you feel pressure coming into a situation like that?
No, I was just like, man, I got all these dunks that I want to do, but I got to make sure like I have an order. Like I literally practiced every dunk that I did in the dunk contest 2 years before the dunk contest. The only one was the Superman dunk where my teammates actually told me to do it. So Carlos Arroyo, he said, you should put on a cape and fly like Superman. And then it was like, man, you are Superman, you might as well do it. So I didn't know where to get a cape from the night before the dunk contest.
Oh, you made this decision the night before?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're in New Orleans. My manager, he goes to a party store and he comes back with this full Superman outfit. And he's like, yeah, this is the only one we could find. So I was like, man, I can't wear spandex and everything out there to do a dunk contest. So we had to cut it up and like, it was like a onesie. So if you go look at the pictures, that's why it looked like it's so tight. It was a onesie. And
how did they even make a onesie big enough for you?
It wasn't a onesie, but we had to transform it into one for me to do the dunk contest. So, man, I just remember like it was yesterday, the Superman dunk. Put the tape down, and I kind of like got my shoulders ready. And when I took off and made the dunk, it was just like, it was unbelievable. I had missed jumping up and chest bumping my teammate because I was so happy. And I was like, yo, this is it. It was crazy. Like everywhere I went after that, it was, hey, Superman, hey, Superman, hey. So I was like, yo, this is tight. I was really excited, and Warner Brothers had made me some Superman shoes, and I was like, yo, Superman. It was crazy.
So, conference finals, you and the Magic are playing LeBron and the Cavs. You and the Magic have basically been written off before the series even starts. Yeah. Take me to Game 6.
We wasn't afraid. I think everybody had already wanted to see Kobe and LeBron in the finals. So they had already had their little puppet commercials going where it was Kobe and LeBron, and I don't know if you remember back then, they had like these puppets that were supposed to be, one was Kobe, one was LeBron. And they just written us off. And our team was very upset after seeing these commercials because they already had finals commercials.
Like legitimately upset?
Legitimate, yeah. So we really was like, it's go time. And we wanted to destroy the Cavs every single game. It didn't matter if they was up by 20, up by 15, at any point in the game, we knew that we were gonna beat them. And that last game, it was just like, we're not losing. Game 6, we're not going back to Cleveland. We're not losing, we finna dominate. And it was an amazing game.
To what extent was there any one moment from that series going up against LeBron that you most recall?
Well, it was a moment where he was about to shoot a 3 and I was chasing him down and I blocked him. And they called a foul and the whole arena went crazy because we looked at it on the replay. I literally jumped over and just grabbed, like hit the ball, never touched him. And like that moment right there was like, man, this is our chance. It doesn't matter what anybody does, we're gonna win this series.